Going into the winter months, a lot of patients often call with injuries related to going into those winter months, often being a fall. What are your comments regarding falls in the sense of is there a preventative way of avoiding a fall or the injury associated with it?
I great question. I think people need to refocus their physical abilities in a training sense on sort of core strength and strength in general, not necessarily aerobic, because many people will say, well, I walk, significant amount of distance every single day and that should help me. In reality, yes, there is some help, but the biggest benefit might actually be from getting some strength. People always get very concerned about strength, thinking that they have to go to the gym, lift, 6 plates aside to get really strong and do things. That's not the case. We like to label it as resistance training, things that just help you be a little stronger in that moment where a perturbation in your balance may affect you negatively. And if you can correct from that, then you are less likely to get injured. We know that people later on in life, after they've had a fall and or there's an injury associated to a hip or a shoulder, decline rapidly. Those people who tend to stay relatively strong tend to avoid those and then tend to live a fuller, more prosperous life into their old age than those people chronically affected by recurrent injuries like a broken hip or a broken shoulder or anything like that, which again then reinforces the need for being able to remain strong even as you get a little bit older. Not to the point where, you're a bodybuilder and you need to be, a particular size, a particular body fat or anything else, but just strong enough so that you're not affected by the various demands day to day.
While you can't necessarily avoid slipping on ice and falling, if you are at home or you're an older aged individual, are there steps or things that can be done to help prevent those falls, such as are there different devices or things to remove in a house that would minimize the risk of a fall at home?
Fair. I mean, caution is a good thing. We need to remember that in the older population, you're not 20 anymore, and that you need to be cautious at putting yourself at risk. The other issue, though, is that like when you were 20, you still need to make a commitment to your training program, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's going to the pool, whether it's participating in a light sport or activity. But if you do it consistently, that's where you're ultimately going to get the benefits. It's not a one-off. Nobody got strong by going 2 hours to the gym one Sunday a month. Everybody got strong by going on a regular basis every couple of days to make a difference in their own personal health.
In conclusion, in regards to falls, what's the biggest recommendation you could make to your patients or those listening about preventing a fall?
Make a commitment to being active. Consider strength probably more than aerobics during your training. And I think you will have less falls, less incidents that may compromise your health in the long run.